Bonjour, j'espère que vous allez très bien. In this video we are going to speak about three similar verbs in French: rentrer, revenir, retourner. Well, these verbs have different meanings, but we are going to speak here when the meaning is about to go back, to come back. So what is the difference and how to use these three verbs? Well, you know that in French all the time we've got exceptions, but we are going to see some rules here to help you to use actually these three verbs with your French tutor online, Pascal. So let's start with the first verb, rentrer. So rentrer here, the meaning is linked to home, to your home or to a home, a friend's home, etc. But it's linked to home. For example, in this conversation, this guy is watching his watch and he says, il est tard, je rentre chez moi. Il est tard, je rentre chez moi. And the meaning is home. It is late, I go back home. Chez moi or à la maison. Well, and here the verb is rentrer, because the notion again is to go back home. Rentrer. Let's see now revenir. Revenir, to come back. Well, let's see now this conversation. This guy is at home and is phoning his wife. And you would like to know, tu reviens quand? So when will you come back? At what time will you come back? Tu reviens quand? Okay, it's perfect to use that, but because this guy is at home, you could also use the verb rentrer. Tu rentres quand? Both in this case are perfect and correct French. But the difference with revenir is one of the speakers is where the other person will come back. Okay? One of the speakers is where the other person will come back. So in this case, this guy is at home, the place where his wife will come back. One of the speakers is where the other person will come back. In this case, you can use revenir. It works for home, but it could be your office. In this case, he's phoning his colleague, and he said, because this girl was previously at the office, she left, and he would like to know at what time or when will you come back? Tu reviens quand? And in this case, you can't use the verb rentrer because it's not home, it's your office. That's a second difference between these two verbs. Okay? So the rule, one of the speakers is where the other person will come back. Let's see now to finish the verb retourner. Retourner, to come back. To come back, retourner. Well, these two people have this conversation at home and they are speaking about a restaurant. They rarely enjoy the food. So they can say, nous y retournerons, c'était trop bon. We'll go back there, it was too good. It can be a restaurant, it can be where you were on holidays in France, for example. Nous y retournerons, c'était trop bien. Okay, but here there is a rule. The rule is none of the speakers are at the place they are talking about. So they are not in the restaurant or they are not in France, but they are talking about these places. Okay? And they can be at home, they can be any office, any place actually, but not where they are talking about. So that's the difference between these three verbs: rentrer, revenir, and retourner. As I said, in French, always you will find some exceptions. But if you try to apply and remember these rules, well, it will be a good start to use these three verbs correctly in French. D'accord? Allez, maintenant c'est fini. J'espère que vous reviendrez me voir. Au revoir et bon français!